Meanwhile, thousands of miles away from the Indian-Nepal border, the political crisis in Nepal has entered its final stages. After more than 2 weeks of intense street protests, Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has finally been ousted. So what exactly happened in Nepal, and how did Oli lose his job despite having an absolute majority in parliament? Well, we have the answers for all these questions tonight. This is your host and you're watching this channel. Let's begin with some visuals from Kathmandu. People are celebrating in the streets. They've set up bonfires, they're dancing, they're cheering. The news coming in is that Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has been ousted. He's no longer the Prime Minister of Nepal. His Nepal Communist Party has also lost its majority in parliament. Now those who've been protesting on the streets, they have every reason to celebrate. Their anger, their protests have forced Oli to quit. But trust me, it wasn't easy. This has been one of the most violent chapters in Nepal's recent history. As many as 14 people have died in clashes with the police. Several others have been injured, more than 3,000 people. Some shops and party offices have also been burnt. 2 important buildings in Kathmandu were set ablaze. One belonged to Prime Minister Oli, another was the Parliament building. Both structures were gutted. That's how angry the people were. And they've every reason to be angry. As Nepal burns, let me tell you a little story. It will give you an insight into what really happened in Nepal. On April 26th, a video went viral on social media. It showed the son of Nepal's Home Minister. The son of the Home Minister flaunting expensive Swiss watches worth $25,000. He was also wearing a necklace worth $7,000. Now here's the catch. Nepal is one of the poorest countries in the world. Its per capita income is just $1,379. That's around 1,10,000 Nepali rupees. Yet the Home Minister's son was living a life of luxury. How did he afford all those expensive accessories? Well, he didn't have a job, so it wasn't his money. He was living off his father's salary, and this isn't an isolated case. In another video, the son of Nepal's defense minister was flaunting wads of cash. Social media erupted. The people were furious. They had a new hashtag megaphobia, trending across the country. This is Nepal's lost generation, a generation full of potential, education and skills, but without any opportunity. So they took to the streets. They wanted answers. What were these ministers' kids doing with all the money? Where was all the public money going? These questions were echoing across the country. But Oli had no answers. In fact, he tried to silence the protesters. He shut down the internet. He tried to block social media. He even detained some journalists. But nothing worked. The people were not having it. So what exactly happened next? We'll get to that. But first, let's try and understand this generation. Who are they? Why did they rise against Oli? We call them Nepal's Gen Z, and like their counterparts across the world, they're angry, very angry. Angry about their future, angry about their jobs, or rather the lack of it. Gen Z makes up 34% of Nepal's population. That's around 6.3 million people. Like the rest of the world, they grew up with the internet. They're well educated, but they don't have enough opportunities back home. So what do? Many of them migrate to India in search of work. And this isn't a new trend. For decades, Nepalis have been migrating to India for jobs. Today, there are around 2.4 million Nepalis living in India. Most of them are working in various sectors: construction, hospitality, even domestic help. They're employed in all sectors. And now they're adding their might to the purchasing power of India's middle class. According to one estimate, Nepalis spend around $1 billion annually while shopping in India. So Nepal's Gen Z is well aware about the outside world. They know what's happening beyond their borders. And now they want the same development for their country. They want jobs, better salaries, and a better life. But the problem is, their leaders won't listen. Look at Nepal's latest unemployment figures. They make for grim reading. In 2024, the unemployment rate was 20.82%. Around 50% of the population is poor. Almost 20% live below the poverty line. Does the government have a plan to tackle this? Well, it did not. And this explains the unrest. As the leaders kept failing their people, the youth started leaving the country. More than 500,000 Nepalis are estimated to have migrated since 2019. Most of them have gone to India, others to Malaysia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. But one thing's for sure, they're not coming back. And this exodus has had a cascading effect on Nepal's economy. Fewer people are paying taxes. Fewer people are spending money in the local markets. This in turn affects the country's GDP, and Nepal's leaders knew all of this. They knew their people were suffering. They also knew that they were being watched. But instead of taking remedial measures, they clamped down on dissent. They tried to shut down the voices of the people. And that's when things got really ugly. Let me show you some pictures. This is Nepal's parliament. Look at what happened to it. On May, protesters set the parliament building on fire. For days before that, they torched Prime Minister Oli's house. You can see the charred remains of his residence. This is what the Prime Minister's house looked like before. This is what it looks like right now. The entire building was burnt, all because the people of Nepal had had enough. They wanted change, and their target was clear: oust Prime Minister Oli. So what exactly happened next? Did Oli step down after his house was burnt? Well, he did not. He actually held on for dear life. But there was a problem. The people were not ready to give him an inch. They kept protesting day after day. They blocked highways. They shut down businesses. At one point, they even blocked the airport. How many flights do you think were affected? Well, over 40. Protesters also vandalized several party offices and private vehicles. The situation was spiraling out of control. Oli's security was compromised, so he had to be moved to a safe location. Eventually, he was flown to India for medical treatment. Now earlier, Oli blamed India for all of this. He accused India's army of plotting a coup in Nepal. Turns out it was his own people who wanted him out. Having realized this, Oli has finally resigned. But what happens next is anybody's guess. His party still has a majority in parliament. However, that majority is now gone. Oli's Nepal Communist Party has been reduced to a minority, so a new leader will be elected soon. But who will that be? Well, the frontrunner is Sherbahordio Doiba. He's the president of the Nepali Congress Party. Doiba is currently 77 years old. He served as Prime Minister of Nepal 3 times in the past. In fact, he holds a unique record. He's the longest-serving Prime Minister of Nepal, 17 years. Sure, he has not been Prime Minister for 17 consecutive years. He's held the post intermittently. But if you add up all his tenures, they come up to 17 years. So how much of a change will Doiba bring? Well, we'll have to wait and see. For now, let's focus on the larger picture. This revolt in Nepal is being seen as a classic David versus Goliath story. The underdogs have triumphed. They've shown the world that no matter how strong you are, you cannot silence the voice of the people. In the end, it was the people versus the politicians, and the people have won. Here's what they have to show for their victory: a better future, hopefully. Nepal is blessed with abundant natural resources, great weather, ample sunshine, fertile land, and a strategic location. Nepal should be a hub of tourism and trade, but it isn't, and that needs to change. Nepal's tourism sector, for instance, has immense potential. It can contribute to almost 10% of the country's GDP. Right now it contributes less than 5%. Similarly, Nepal's hydropower sector has immense potential. There are 6,900,000 rivers in Nepal, just think about that. 6,900,000 rivers, yet Nepal faces frequent power cuts. 40% of the population doesn't even have access to electricity. Clearly, Nepal's leaders have failed to live up to the expectations of their people. They squandered all opportunities, and now it's time for a change.